The sun has risen in Jember City, 199 kilometers east of Surabaya. That morning, like any other morning, tobacco farmers start their day taking care of their crops. Indonesia is one of the top tobacco producer countries in the world. And for some local people, growing tobacco is a culture that has been carried down for generations.
Saya sudah 45 tahun kerja di dunia tembakau. Ya butuh waktu 4 tahun, 5 tahun baru akan merasakan wah indahnya tembakau itu. Lama-kelamaan jadi cinta, seperti mencintai seorang istri. Jadi banyak variasi tembakau yang kita jalankan. Kita tidak mau bekerja hanya menggantungkan satu jenis tembakau. Karena di saat satu jenis lagi lesu, kita akan berdampak sekali. Tapi kalau kita ngikutin seluruh tembakau, di saat posisi ada surut, kita kecilin, di saat ada yang pasang, kita besarkan. Dari pembelian ke sini, ini kita pilar oto rambing, fermentasi, baru nanti masuk sortasi lagi setelah masak. Kalau mentah kan belum bisa dibaca betul. Jadi nanti setelah fermentasi baru kita sortir lebih detail.
In MDR, we see tobacco as one of Indonesia's many great agricultural products. Our vision is to increase exposure and share this great commodity from Indonesia to the rest of the world. In order to achieve that, MDR always pursue high-quality standard in our products. We work continuously with our farmers to improve their growing system. In addition to that, we are also continuously improving the welfare of our stakeholders. And this includes our employees, our farmers, our suppliers, the environment, and of course, our customers. We still see tobacco as a viable business in the long run, which is why we are here for the long term. We are very committed in sustainable growing practices, and hence, we invested a lot of capital into this business. We also understand different customers have different needs and resources. No matter how big or small the customer is, we always try our best to give them 100%. The other day, we have 2 visitors. First time in Indonesia, looking for tobaccos, know nothing about tobacco. And by chance, they stopped by our office. The visitors didn't have any appointment with us, but we are more than happy in welcoming them. We took them around our facilities and taught them everything we know about tobaccos. They did not buy tobacco from us, and then they came back again the next year. So we still have no problem with them coming back to us. We still took them around the facilities, teach them everything we know about Indonesian tobaccos, and they still didn't buy from us. But eventually, in the 3rd year, they bought some tobaccos with us. It's not big, but we are happy. So in MDR, we know that everybody has to start somewhere. So we just hope that when our customers grows bigger, they do not forget about us. And even if they don't buy tobacco from us, at least we share to them the knowledge about Indonesian tobacco. MDR is like a one-stop shop for Indonesian tobacco leaf. We provide various kinds of Indonesian tobaccos from all over Indonesia. This ranges from Garut, Lombok, Madura, Jember, Klaten, Jombang, Python, and even Bali. If you are looking for Indonesian tobacco, MDR is the place you are looking for.
MDR engaged in processing both tobacco materials for cigarettes and cigars. Each of them has their own distinctive path. Tobacco for cigarettes consists of one component, filler. After raw tobacco materials that have been bought from the farmers are sorted and graded in the procurement warehouse, they're dispatched to the green leaf re-drying factory. The first thing to check when tobaccos arrive at the factory is their type and weight. Supported by a real-time integrated logistics system, we make sure that the right materials are used for the specific blend ordered by our customer. Once verified and reweighed, tobaccos then enter the feeding process. Lumps of raw material from selected grades are fed into 2 rows of conveyor tables, dispersed and then mixed to produce the initial expected blend. This step will also serve as the first line of defense against non-tobacco related materials, widely known as NTRM. Through visual inspection, workers will sort and pick out any visible NTRM. In the next stage, known as conditioning, the initial tobacco blend is steamed by spraying water at a specific temperature. Spinning and steaming inside the rotary tube, tobaccos are properly dispersed, evenly and uniformly blended, which at the same time invigorates their aroma. Out of the conditioning machine, tobaccos undergo the second line of defense, the most diligent step against NTRM and scrap particles. They are spread into 5 rows of conveyor tables that are each equipped with NTRM filter net and roller, as well as a magnet trap. Aside from being visually hand-picked by the workers and manually sorted out by the filters, at the end of the table, tobaccos will be sucked by an airlift separator, which separates tobaccos from rock, pebble, metal, dust, and other kinds of NTRM. After that, tobaccos are funneled into a sieve to undergo a process of separating the lamina from any scraps or particles that don't meet the customer's requirements. After being cleaned as thoroughly as possible, tobaccos then go into the most essential stage of the whole process, drying. In this process, tobaccos are being carefully conditioned based on the parameters that have been requested by the customers. Several treatments are conducted inside the biggest part of the machineries. Through this sequence, tobaccos are expected to reach the optimum blend uniformity and moisture content level. To make sure that these results are achieved, output from the drying process is periodically examined on the inspection table. Once tobaccos have been ascertained to be in their expected prime condition, batches are collated into the pressing machine and packed in their requested form, either corrugated carton or Hessian bale, while at the same time also being reweighed for their quantity and examined again for their quality. During all of these stages, quality control holds the key to ensuring that tobaccos are being properly processed and carefully treated. Besides being visually and manually inspected in each and every one of the steps, our quality control lab also works behind the scenes with sophisticated equipment by taking samples and examining them periodically. From before raw materials are being fed onto the feeding tables, after conditioning, as well as during the drying and packing process, samples are being tested for moisture content, nicotine and sugar level, particle size, stems, NTRM and blend uniformity. Making sure that the tobaccos are processed according to the customer's requirements by ourselves won't be reassuring enough. That's why, after all that, we line up a series of samples from production batches so our customers can inspect them directly in person, while at the same time redrawn samples are also sent to our customers for their own examination. We strongly believe that these layers of measures are necessary to ensure that tobaccos shipped to our customers are at their finest quality. While tobacco for cigarettes has become the powerhouse of our company, it is in cigar leaf that Djemba's tobacco heritage is well known. Our journey on preserving the heritage begins when tobacco leaves are received from farmers. A lump of raw materials are pre-sorted into 3 categories: wrapper, binder, and filler. The pre-sorted raw materials are then matured by fermenting them to bring out their true potential, such as the distinctive colour, taste, and aroma. Tobaccos are stacked into several piles based on their categories, commonly known as staple. Each category has its own treatment that is slightly different from any other. During this treatment, workers will periodically check the stack's temperature using a uniquely traditional but proven method to determine whether the fermentation goes well and tobaccos are properly matured. After 3 months of fermentation, matured tobaccos are sorted extensively according to the following categories: leaf position, cleanliness, thickness, oil content, colour, uniformity, and length. Each category has its own parameters which result in unique grades with different appearance, taste, and quality. This stage is so much more meticulous than any other that so far no technology can replace the process. One can consider the traditional sorting process as an art on its own. Once properly sorted, tobaccos are compiled into stacks of leaves or bundled into a certain amount of leaves, then manually packed into hessian bale or leaf mat bale, locally known as tikar bale. While the whole processes are mostly handled traditionally, we combine them with modern quality control, as well as an integrated real-time inventory management system to ensure that the goods are quality approved and delivered on time to our customers. Processing tobacco leaves for cigar materials is only the first half of the marvellous Indonesian tobacco culture heritage. The second half of it is the fine art of making the cigar itself. At the very beginning, the master roller sorts bundled tobacco leaves into wrapper and binder materials, then hand strips them off their stems so only the lamina remains, while the assistant roller prepares filler materials. Once all the materials are ready, the master roller then starts filling binder leaves with their respective fillers and puts them into a cigar mold for a certain period of time to generate uniform size and density. During this stage, the quality control lab will periodically test the draw of cigars from each mold using special equipment and at the same time visually examine their quality as well. After making sure that every cigar has proper density, uniform draw, and the expected quality, the master roller will diligently wrap the half-finished cigars with wrapper leaves, forming them into the finest looking cigars. While all of these processes apply for large-sized cigars, different treatments are applied for the small-sized ones, which are known as cigarillos. Cigarillos are produced by wrapping filler materials with wrapper leaves that have been cut into a specific size, then press-rolled using a cigarillo rolling tool. Once the wrapping process is finished, cigars and cigarillos are heated in the oven for a certain period of time, while quality control personnel conduct a smoking test panel to ensure that every batch of cigar has uniform draw, taste, and quality. The finished, tested, and ready-to-sell cigars are then stowed in the aging room to age. When orders arrive, cigars are taken out of the aging room. The cigars are then labelled with rings and packed in their respective packaging to be distributed to consumers worldwide.
MDR makes sure that everyone feels welcome and finds what they are looking for. All stakeholders are important, not only our customers, but farmers, employees, suppliers, and everyone around us. We believe if you grow your business, we grow our business as well. After all, we are in this business together.